Joining me now with the latest is the member of a Senate Armed Services Committee, Iowa Senator Joni Ernst. Senator, thanks very much for being here this morning. Give us your reaction.
You bet. Great to be with you, Maria. And it was absolutely shameful what happened last week when Prime Minister Netanyahu visited the United States Senate, the United States Congress, delivered his joint address, and Vice President Kamala Harris was not there to receive him nor preside over that joint session. She should have been there. Rather than attending a 5-day sorority convention, she should have been here at a time when Israel is engaged in a deadly fight for survival. She chose to spend time with her chums rather than to come out and show Israel that the United States will support them in this war.
And why do you believe it is so critical to support Israel right now? I want to get your take on the difference in policy with regard to Israel when you look at Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump.
Make no doubt about it. The American people should know and understand that Israel is a democratic nation. It is our strongest partner and ally in the Middle East. When we have a world that is on fire and Iran backing all of these terrorist organizations, we need Israel. Israel doesn't just need the United States. We need Israel as part of our national security plan. So for this administration to turn their back on Israel while they say they have an ironclad commitment, we have seen the waffling. We have seen the denial of munitions going into Israel. And it's again, shameful because they are such a great partner to us. We know we need them in the fight against Iran. The Arab nations in that region need Israel as well to push back against Iran. And the difference in policy, we saw under President Donald J. Trump, the strength. We saw the Abraham Accords that brought stability to the Middle East. Under this administration that bows to Iran, allows appeasement towards Iran, won't enforce sanctions against Iran, we have seen a world on fire. This is the difference. Peace and stability under President Trump, absolute chaos under Biden-Harris.
Well, I know that during the Obama administration, there was so many pushes to get an Iran nuclear deal done. And even in the early days of the Biden administration, Biden and Harris were pushing to get a deal with Iran done. Perhaps that was one of the reasons that they were appeasing Iran and its bad behavior. Do you believe that push continues in a potential Kamala Harris administration? And do you believe that that will once again be a negative and a disadvantage for Israel?
Well, absolutely, Maria. We can see that President Biden's policies are the same policies that Kamala Harris has been embracing. She has a failed record. And if you look at this administration and what has happened in the Middle East, we are very fortunate that the Abraham Accords were in place under Donald Trump. Otherwise, we would see much more going on in the Middle East. The Biden-Harris team will continue to appease Iran. And we see Iran within a hair's breadth of nuclear enrichment, weapons-grade material. This did not happen under Donald Trump. This happened under Biden-Harris. She will continue with these deadly policies. Her appeasement of Iran and the enabling of these terrorist proxies has not only killed Israelis, but we must remember that in that attack, we had over 40 Americans that lost their lives on October 7th. We have 8 Americans still being held by Hamas in the Gaza Strip, 5 of whom we believe might still be alive. And yet President Biden never mentioned their names, nor that we had Americans killed on that deadly day.
I mean, Biden held back weaponry to Israel, all the while saying that the relationship is ironclad. I wonder, when it comes to defense and spending on defense, do you believe that Kamala Harris will cut defense spending or limit defense spending, even in a world where China is on the march, Russia is continuing its bad behavior as well? There have been a lot of people who have said that we are actually in short supply of ammunition here in America.
Yes, absolutely. You look at the last 3.5 or so years under Biden-Harris, and they have severely limited what our military can do. The Democrats have demanded equal spending for domestic projects like the Inflation Reduction Act instead of building up our military and our defense industrial base. Harris will continue with that wokeism in the military rather than ensuring that they are the strongest military on the face of the planet.
Senator, thank you. Good to see you this morning. We so appreciate you. Iowa Senator Joni Ernst, thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.